So, Luca Nation, we hope you enjoyed yesterday's kind of NFT-esque, a little bit more technical episode with a friend, a cousin, Mr. Daniel Norkin. We want to welcome you guys back to another episode of Luca's Tigers and Bronze, oh my. And today, we want to kick things off with some analysis, some discussion from Cage and I about Top Shot. Top Shot is releasing a pack today called the All-Star Release. It's going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is that right?
Yep. At least for right now. At least for right now.
And Cage and I were talking about something interesting. I was telling Cage that, all of my lower end moments, lower end is $10 to $40, have been getting scooped up at the lowest ask almost instantaneously. However, some of my higher end moments, $1,000 to $5,000 moments haven't budged, even at the lowest ask. And Cage was giving a little analysis of what he's seeing. And I actually had a friend who's had some success. So, Cage, could you share a little bit of what you were just mentioning to me? And then I'll tell you a little bit about what my friend did as well.
Yeah, man. So, listen, the one thing that I'm a little, always curious about with something like Top Shot, and it's not going to be a Top Shot episode. It just happened to be what we're talking about because there's a drop today, right? So the one thing that always concerned me is how are they going to keep people engaged and how are they going to keep the new people from walking in and saying, well, I missed the boat. I can't make money here. I mean, I wish I was in 2 months ago. I wish I was one of those people who got in beforehand, right?
Wish I was a baller. Shot caller.
Wish I was a little bit taller.
Yes.
I wish I had a girl who looked good. I would call her. Come on, man. If you're gonna start something, finish it. So here you go. So those people, they come in. I
didn't know the words.
I would. Well, yes, this is true. All the words come from me. So, but here, right? So people who've come in recently, what were they able to do? Like they put $100 in and they bought a pack or they bought 2 packs. I personally have not gotten a pack that wasn't like a guaranteed pack in like a month. I got the gift pack and I got the pre-order pack that everybody got. But other than that, no luck here. I think I'm on the no-fly list. Can't withdraw, can't get a pack. So, but everybody else getting packs and they get packs of these moments, right? And then they put $100, $200 in, and they're buying the stuff that they can buy with their bankroll, and whether that be Dylan Wright or Rudy Gay or whoever else the out of 35,000 floor moments are. It used to be the price to play in the marketplace, the floor, as they like to call it, was $5 or $6. I transferred a moment yesterday to Oliver, one of our listeners, as part of a bigger deal, and I used my Dylan Wright. And I looked at it at the time, what's it selling for? And it was selling for $5. Now, I looked at it today, and it's selling for $22. Now, why? And I'm going to give the Top Shot team some credit here. Because every time I say, wow, they're not going to be able to keep people engaged, they find a way to take care of the bottom rung of the pyramid, that bottom layer. And what I mean by that is, we've talked about this a million times. You have to keep the new layer engaged and find a way for them to be able to color up and move up to the layer above them and keep the prices moving, right? So here's what they did with today's pack. With today's pack, they said you have to own at least 3 moments. So if you happen to be a sneaker flipper or somebody who bought packs previously or somebody who's just getting online and hoping they get in a queue and buy a pack for $9 and then immediately sell it for $100, well, guess what? You got that $100 sitting in your Dapper, $200, whatever it may be from the $9. You can't get today's pack unless you own 3 moments. So there are people going in. This is a subtle thing they did. There are people going in now and looking for the cheapest moments they could buy just so that they could have the 3 that they need to be able to qualify for a pack. So the $5 Dylan Wright, it becomes a $7, $8, $9. All of a sudden, all of those 35,000 plus moments, at least for today, I don't know what's going to happen after this, but at least for right now, in order to get a pack, the price to play is, I think I saw Rudy Gay selling for like $18, one of the cheapest ones. So what they've done is they've tripled to quadrupled the floor price of these moments. And if you're one of those people who had $200 in it and bought nothing but $5 moments, and you bought yourself $200 worth of $5 moments, well, guess what? You're sitting there now. Your account is not worth $200 anymore. It's worth $600 or $800. And one of our own mentioned how, he was able to sell some of the stuff and use the profit he made on these 35,000 to buy a Jaren Jackson Jr. Series 1. And that's the coloring up that we talk about. That's what will keep the prices of the other things going and keep the pyramid moving. because now the bottom layer, which was sitting there with nothing but $5 moments, is now sitting there with $20 moments and the ability to sell for triple or quadruple what they actually put in. So that's what we were chatting about.
I love it. My buddy, this was crazy because this is not someone that was ever into sports cards. He got engaged this year, so shout out to you, bro. Congratulations. But he's not someone who's ever into sports cards. And, we talked in late January. He was like, hey, have you heard about this Top Shot thing? And I said, yeah, we've been on it just for a month. It's been super interesting. He said, I'm going to give it a try. So he deposited $50. This was maybe early February, late January. And he bought a ton of $3 and $5 moments, really low price moments that he thought were underpriced, as he worded it. And he immediately relisted those moments for $50, $60. I'm imagining he bought the Series 2 moments that were out of 15,000. And he immediately listed them for, $50, $60. Kind of like a limit sale, right? That you would do with the stock. You're like, hey, if I get this price, he didn't even watch the market. He's like, if I get this price for this moment, great. So he bought them for $3, listed it for $50, $60. He said he didn't go on to Top Shot for about a month. And then he goes on to show his brother-in-law the platform, how it works, what NFTs are, comes back on, and his $50 has become $2,000 plus in his Dapper balance. Pretty cool, right?
It's amazing.
We knew it's possible, but it's really cool to hear stories like that of people who actually do it, right?
Yeah, because, listen, that's and that is a great way of doing it, right? I mean, it's a great way of doing it on the lower end. It's not somebody who was in the beginning and was lucky enough to to be in at the right time. This is somebody who said, all right, I'm going to buy some lower end stuff. And, whether it will be the Cool Cats, if you hold some of the new ones, when the Cool Cat release comes out, there's going to be 5 moments of commons that are going to be part of the challenge to get whatever the next Cool Cat is. I have to give credit to the Top Shot team for keeping people engaged and creating value on some of these moments where there otherwise wouldn't be. Now, I will also preach, and I will tell you guys, as best as I can here, be careful, because if I'm right, and the reason that these moment prices are going up is because people need them in their account to try to get a pack, well, it stands to reason then that if they don't get a pack now, then aren't they just going to sell them? Because they don't need to have them in their account. And then wouldn't that cause the price to retreat? And there is evidence to support that in the last Cool Cats, the one to get the Anthony Davis. Will Barton was one of the commons needed. And it was sitting over $300 at one point before that challenge. And I haven't looked at it recently, but I think it might be $20 now. I don't think it's that expensive, maybe $30, something like that, but it's definitely not 300. So be careful. I will tell you guys, I had, in the one pre-order pack that I got garbage, I got a Rudy Gay in it. And as soon as I saw today the prices going up, I sold it for whatever I could get and I ran, because I think it's one of those things that, it's gonna come down a little bit after this pack. Just saying. All right, well, that's enough Top Shot. What do you think?
All right. Cage, what did you think of the Sasha T trade?
I had to look at what it was, what he traded. I have not researched anything about that exquisite card, so I don't, I can't tell you, whether or not it's a win, a loss, because, you could tell me that exquisite Kobe is worth 30 grand or 150 grand, and I wouldn't know. I'm just not up on, on that particular card. And also, I don't think there's too many of them, so comps would probably be difficult to figure out what that's worth. Right. Obviously, the owner of the Zard that traded for it thinks it's worth plenty. I'm more of a fan of, if you're doing a trade, especially for Grail type of cards, if you come out with the bigger card, then I think that's the person who wins. And I would think the Zard here is the bigger in terms of value right now, single card. Sometimes you have to give up more value to get the one bigger card. Think of it like a fantasy trade, man. If you're trying to trade for that first round wide receiver or that top level quarterback, you give up your second and third round receiver running back for it, So my take on it, and it's real not technical, is, nice job getting the Zard. I have not been able to get one. So he knows that, and he knows I need one. So, and I'm not the only one, but I talk to Sasha pretty often, and he knows if he needed to liquidate that, he's got a buyer right here. So that provides some form of a comfort level, right?
I don't know. I don't know if he's thinking about you at all, but I assume
I'm sure he's not. I'm sure he's not, because I would probably be 11th on the list of people he would sell that Zard to, because I draw too hard of a bargain. But
can I ask you, what's so special about that Zard?
It's the card of a generation, right? If so sports heads, people who played sports, you name it, will understand Jordan. People will understand the Michael Jordan card. It's iconic. It's a piece of art. Michael Jordan's one of the GOATs. He's one of the greatest of all times. And yet, at the same time, sports heads like you, people who are in the New World economy, the Gary V minions, right? You understand that the way people think now is not the way people thought then. This generation of wealth that's being created now in Bitcoin and in altcoins and Ethereum and Flow blockchain and Top Shot and NFTs and you name it. It's a very foreign concept to a lot of people. Pretty much anybody over 40, right? It's a pretty foreign concept. But why is that change happening, right? It's happening because you have this generation of people who are tech savvy, who don't necessarily follow the leader and don't necessarily fall in line and say, hey, the way it was is the way it always will be. And those people grew up in the 90s with Pokemon, in the 2000s with Pokemon. The people who are leading this YouTube revolution, that is the anthem, right? That is hey, it's cool to be a nerd. It's cool to buck the trend. You might have been buying in the 90s Derek Jeter. You might have been buying Ken Griffey Jr. You might have been buying Michael Jordan or Kobe. I was playing Pokemon and you were making fun of me. Well, now I'm a Bitcoin millionaire. Make fun of me now. You know what I mean? Like, to them, I mean, there's a reason why Logan Paul is not right now opening up National Treasures boxes, right? He's opening Pokemon boxes, So,
and there's something to be said about Pokemon made Pokemon cards, where NBA didn't make NBA cards, right? Panini and Topps did. Or is it Hasbro who made them?
The original one was Wizards of the Coast.
Who's the actual creator of that, though?
That was the creator, but it no longer is. Yeah,
that
was the entity. But there were other. Topps has Pokemon cards right around the same time as these. There's 1999 and 2000 Topps Pokemon cards. Meiji, I say it wrong. It's like Meiji. Chocolate Company, made cards. Topsun. I mean, they all have brands. They're licensed Pokemon products. So
I love it. I'm going with my favorite set, the 2008 Topps Chrome here. Okay.
2008 Topps Chrome.
Yep. Love 2008 Topps Chrome. Think they're the coolest cards. Both football and basketball. I'm staying on my kick of Tom Brady too, because, and I'll release this video for you guys on the newsletter, but I have reason to believe that Brady's going to overtake Jordan as the greatest of all time cross sport. I think, what's so funny? Someone in the group posted a tweet that Drew Brees retired, and someone in the Twitter comments put Brees greater than Brady. That's obviously a joke, but.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there are some people who don't think it's a joke.
Well, Cage, it's pretty obviously a joke, because
why?
Across sports, there's no player, no champion that's even on the level of Brady. The only person that's on his level right now is Michael Jordan. It's not even close, dude. It really isn't. If you look at the accolades, the statistics, the wins.
Wait, statistics, it's definitely close. The two of them were battling out for the touchdown lead. I think Brees might have more yards in one less season.
You're right.
As far as Super Bowls, obviously, Brady won more Super Bowls, but Brees did win a Super Bowl. It's definitely a conversation. As far as like GOATs go, no. But listen, the game changed, and Brees and Brady coming into this year was a talk of, if this is their last year, who's going to finish with the record for touchdowns? And then Brees got hurt. It's a shame. It's a shame to have him go out kind of the way that he went out, right? Well,
Brees? No, Brees is trash.
Brees is trash?
Yeah, he's garbage. And I am so surprised at how much people care about touchdowns. That's like saying Kareem is better than MJ. because he scored more points. It's just not the reality. Brady's
It's
7.
a little different, right? I mean,
Why
you
is it
can't
different?
because a quarterback's job is to throw touchdowns, right? I mean,
No, the quarterback's
career.
job is not to throw touchdowns. The quarterback's job is to win games. Russell Wilson tried to throw a touchdown in the Super Bowl game, and he lost the Super Bowl.
So who won more games, Breeze or Brady? I don't know exactly.
You think it's? I can look it up, but do you really think
look it up?
Close? Who has more wins?
Yeah, regular season
Breeze
wins,
or
definitely.
Brady?
Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, Brady played longer, but I'm sure it's not that disparate. I mean, where you call one a goat and one trash. Breeze has had a very good career. I mean, very good. I mean, I wouldn't say he's better than Brady, and I'm not trying to make that argument, but
so do you want to have a stab at this and have a little fun, or how do you want to do it?
No, I mean, have a stab. I don't. I don't know the answer. It's not my pick, but okay. I would imagine that Brady played a long time, but I'm sure Breeze is probably in the top 5 in quarterback wins.
Right? So Brady has a 77% win-loss record. The only other guys in that category with him are Peyton Manning, Joe Montana, and Roger Staubach. Career wins. Brady has 230. Drew Brees has 172.
Which puts him 4th all time. Brett Favre and Peyton Manning with 186 each.
Mm-hmm.
So he is in the top 5.
I didn't say he wasn't.
But that doesn't make him trash. Think of all the people who have played quarterback.
Trash.
Brady,
trash
Favre, Manning, and Breeze.
Trash relative to Brady.
Well, I mean, and let's reset this. I think an argument can be made for quarterback-wise that everybody's trash compared to Brady, I guess. I guess. Listen, I'm not going to argue it. I hate Brady because for many, many reasons I hate Brady. But yeah, I mean, he's clearly head and shoulders the best quarterback to ever play the game by a long shot. Everybody else could fight for 2.
Thank you. And now what he's done is he's separated himself into a category where the only comparison to him, it has to be cross-sport. So that's true Mount Rushmore kind of status. Yep. And the only real comparison to Brady is Jordan right now. There's really nobody else. Gretzky, I guess you could say, just the unanimous best player in the game of all time. That's a hard place to get to. LeBron, you still battle. Is LeBron the best? Blah blah. He still has a lot to prove. Brady's on a level of his own. And now, you can go with the Topps Chrome Refractor. You could go with the Topps Chrome X-Fractor, or you could just go with the Topps 2008 base card. You won't believe this. A top 2008 Leaders Topps card, just base, and this isn't the Chrome, sold for $2 the other day. $2.
Wow.
So my play is scooping up Topps or Topps Chrome from that 2008 set of Tom Brady. I love the set. He's in a Patriots jersey. He's throwing a pass. It's a really cool card. It has leaders across the top, and if you could afford an X-Fractor just sold for $250. These are raw. You can go refractor, those were $150, or you could just go straight up base for the Topps or Topps Chrome, and those are less than $50. With the Topps paper one being $2. Why am I buying these cards, Cage? I think when all is said and
tell me, talk to me. Let's go. Let's hear it.
I'm telling you right now. When all is said and done, I think Brady is going to be super sought after on the card market, and I think once his PSA 10 is still kind of fairly affordable. It's only $25K relative. If you look at like the Michael Jordan rookie card, that's a $500K card. I think that Brady card in a PSA 10 is going to get to 100, 200,000 by the end of his career. And I think it's going to raise the floor on some of his other iconic cards. And I like that 2008 set. And you could get into it super, super, super cheap for an all-time GOAT.
I like the GOAT conversation, man. I really do. So people might not agree with me here, but we've seen the GOATs carry over, right? We've seen, Michael Jordan cards go up, LeBron cards go up, and then the carry over to, we saw modern stuff go, and then, let's look back, and Kobe cards go up, and then, Allen Iverson cards go up, and Vince Carter cards go up, and, you look at different cards from the different eras, different generations, right? And then football, same thing happened, right? I mean, Mahomes is crazy. He's great. He's amazing. Brady is amazing. And Breeze is amazing. And Well, let's look at Jerry Rice's cards, and we've seen some come up on Montana's cards and Barry Sanders' cards and the whole deal. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of let's call it a head start, a little preview of a blog that I'm writing. I'll finish it up tonight. We can publish it on the webpage for our people who Luca Nation Network subscribers to our email, guys. If you haven't done that, please do. You get access to the blog. The blog's up there. We give you additional stuff on our weekly newsletter. I did a Topps paper versus Topps Chrome blog on there, which is pretty cool. And I did an analysis of the PSA, price increases. It's on there, just long form stuff. If you want to read, get a little more detail. My today's topic, I have not titled it yet, but I think the title will be something like Junk Era 2.0.
Wow.
Okay. And it's funny because we talk about GOAT, we talk about a carryover. Baseball season is about to start, right? Mm-hmm. Baseball season is about to start, and people are paying $700-800 for Ronald Acuna Topps Chrome refractor cards in PSA 10, and people are paying all kinds of money for all kinds of stuff. And I started thinking, all right, well, when those go up and they go down, and they go up and they go down because of performance on the field, if I were an investor of cards, would I be looking at somebody who is a GOAT, somebody who is a huge name, somebody who's not going to tarnish their reputation with an 0 for 20 slump to start the season off? And I thought about Jeter because, Derek Jeter is, one of his cards just over $690,000, a ridiculous SP, PSA 10. And Jeter's a great way of playing this, but I went somewhere else. Now, some quick numbers for you guys. I know it's a podcast, so I won't do too much math, but I pulled out two of the, emerging superstars and their Topps flagship PSA 10 rookies. You ready? So Fernando Tatis and Juan Soto. Very similar price of their Topps paper flagship rookies. $325 for Soto, $315 for Tatis, based on yesterday's sale prices, right? We're talking about the 2018 update Soto US 300 and the 2019 Tatis number 410. You care to venture a guess of how many PSA 10s there are of that Tatis? I'll just tell you.
77.
So there's 11,938 of them out of 18,000 graded. So about 2/3.
You see how good I am at picking stocks now, huh?
Yeah, you're all good. Basically 12,000 of them, okay? On the Soto, 16,173 10s out of 23,000 grading. And here's the fun part. 12,000 and 16,000, those numbers are going up. There's tons of those sitting at PSA right now, right? That's not where they're stopping. And they're $315 and $325. Okay. What have those guys done? Not much. They have a lot of promise. They're prospects. They have a lot of potential, and they could turn into, all-time greats, and that's spectacular. Now, who is the poster child for the junk era? Junk wax. Ken Griffey Jr. Exactly. Ken Griffey Jr. Well done. Everybody knows him. Everybody loves him. Now, I just picked two of his cards out, right? One on purpose and then one nice little fun one. In 1989, he had a whole bunch of cards, and I'm not going to point you to the upper deck one, which I still think is a bargain. But let's just look at his Topps card. His Topps rookie card is his 1989 Topps traded number 41T in PSA 10. There were 71,000 of them graded so far by PSA, significantly more than the Tatises and the Sotos. But PSA 10, 12,143. Basically as many Topps paper rookies, almost the identical number as Tatis, right? And 3/4 of the amount of Soto. And those Sotos and Tatises are still growing. So the junk era guy, Griffey's Topps card, there's 12,000 of his Topps rookie, all right? Same amount as Tatis, growing. Same amount as 3/4 of Soto. And here's the other fun little rub. I didn't even throw the Tatis Chrome and the Soto Chrome version and all the other variants and all the other stuff that don't exist on the Griffey. The Griffey Topps rookie is Griffey Topps rookie. That is it. You get what you get, and you don't get upset. That is his rookie, which, by the way, is huge because you're getting his rookie card. So less than the Tatis and 3/4 of the Soto. And we told you that the Tatis was 315 and Soto was 325. Griffey, who's already done it. Griffey, one of the all-time greats of the game. Griffey, huge fan following, great reputation, and now back in baseball.
Yeah.
Keeping baseball, fun again, right? So $315 for Tatis, same amount. $325 for Soto, that there's 16,000 of to Griffey's 12,000. The Griffey's cheaper, $275 for his PSA 10. That Griffey number is not going up.
What were Griffey's accolades when he played?
You mean like did he win MVP or anything like that? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and win MVP. I remember he was in that home run race with Sosa and McGuire at one point, right?
Yes, and then he got hurt. Exactly.
But like, what were his accolades?
Which is, by the way, if you could make his tombstone and then he got hurt is kind of exactly, exactly the. I mean, he won the MVP. He won the MVP in 1997.
I was gonna go to school, but then I got high.
Pretty much. You know what I mean? Fun? Yes, and then I got yes, I remember it. Yeah, I mean, he won an MVP, right? He has 630 home runs, 7 most in MLB history, 10 Gold Gloves. He had home runs in 8 consecutive games, which is a record at the time. 13-time All-Star. Like I said, he won the MVP. Was the home run champ for 4 times in the American League, 3 straight years, 97 through 99. Led in RBIs. I mean, the thing is, he never really had much in the way of postseason success, and but everybody loved him, and he had bad back. He got hurt. He played in Cincinnati at the end because that was where his dad was, and the thing is, he played in the steroid era and was never any kind of thought that he was on steroids, and he hit that many home runs without any real, any problem there. I love the guy, but before we go crazy on Griffey, right? So I just gave you the tops traded at $275,000, number 41T, $275 when there's less of those than there are Sotos and Tatises. But I got an interesting one for you, Fleer. And people are okay with Fleer now because everybody knows the 86 Fleer Jordan card. So Fleer's in the vernacular. There's Fleer, there's also Fleer LeBron rookies. So Griffey has a Fleer card. It's card number 548. And of the 47,000 that have been graded, only 4,500 of them are 10s, which sounds like a lot, right? And we're talking about that was the junk era, right? There's so many of them. But when you compare 4,500, so 4,542 PSA 10s, when you compare that to the 16,000 Juan Sotos, there's 1/4 Griffey to Soto. Soto's 325, and the last one of those Fleer Griffey sold for $250. So, guys, it's just one of those eye-opening stats, right? And I know everybody wants to have the cool thing, and everybody wants to flash their Soto rookie card when he goes and hits home runs this year, and it's cooler to have somebody who's playing now. But if I was sitting out there with $325, I'd consider buying a Griffey for $250 and pocketing $75 instead of buying $325 Juan Soto. It's just me. So you can buy them both if you like. My thought here is someone in this group of young studs is going to go up this year, whether it's Tatis, whether it's Soto, whether it's Vlad Guerrero, and you're going to have a $400 or $500 base card. And at that point in time, I'm not going to be the only one pointing you towards Ken Griffey Jr. because he's going to be half the price of a Vlad Guerrero or a Bo Bichette or a Lou Bob or whoever it may be who's having a hot season. Well, Griffey had 4 hot seasons in 5 years where he led the league in home runs, right? And he's not going to tear his ACL now. He got hurt during his career, but his legend, his status, his record is all already set. So if it were me, $250 for one that the pop is probably not growing too much on, of one of the all-time greats. There's Dunris also, and you can take a look. There's a million rookie cards out there, and if everybody's interested, please go right ahead and message me, and I can talk you through them. But to me, this is more of an overarching. It doesn't just have to be Griffey too. It could be Jeter. It could be A-Rod if you like A-Rod. People are going to start to look at baseball, and the first thing they're going to do is buy these rookies, buy these young kids, and the price is going to go up on them. And then 1 or 2 of them are going to do really well. And you see Mookie Betts rookie. Mookie Betts is great. He won an MVP. He won a World Series. But his Topps flagship rookie is $1,000 now. You could buy 4 Griffeys for that price. So
I love it. Let me ask you 2 things. Well, first a statement, then a question. Albert Pujols is someone who's incredible
By the way,
one of the best baseball players of all time.
Love it.
How is he not in the conversation? Like Soto would be extremely if right now if you said end of the day Soto has a career like Albert Pujols, unbelievable, right? We've talked about they kind of remind me of each other. I'm not a baseball guy, but like power hitter, big build, strong. Why does Albert Pujols not get any love?
You know, he's gonna start to get some love from me, and we should make a picture of that and put it on our site because I got some Pujols love. Anybody who played fantasy baseball 20 years ago, in the early 2000s, knows what a monster Pujols was. I mean, that was your first guy picked. Some people would give up their second, third, and fourth round picks to have the opportunity to get Pujols. He was a monster. And he doesn't get the love because he's kind of still playing. And people see him as now this broken down guy that could have been one of the all-time greats.
No off the field issues. Insane hitter.
Listen,
pure winner, good talent.
I would start buying Pujols cards myself now. Baseball, the interesting part of this and the counter argument to what I'm doing is for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because Gary Vee doesn't like baseball or what the story is, baseball has not yet gotten the love that basketball and for the most part football have gotten. I think that's going to change. I think it'll change this season. I think it's going to change as we go forward because baseball has a long history of GOATs and and great players. People are getting excited about baseball again. I think it's going to change just because the prices are there. I think you see that already with somebody spending $690,000 on a Jeter rookie. So, those kind of things, they have ripple effects. So, and Pujols, great. Ichiro, another great one. You can buy Ichiro cards real cheap.
I think baseball is going to change with Theo Epstein kind of running the ship. Everything he touches turns to gold, and I think he's going to do really, really, really good stuff for them in the corporate offices. But Cage, have you had this? So you've been in the hobby for a long time. Where it's harder to find deals, it's harder to find good assets, it's harder to know what to buy. You know how there's cycles in this thing? Do you feel that we're going through a cycle right now where really you're kind of reaching for second, third, fourth, fifth tier assets because all the first tier assets are priced out? Or how are you viewing the market as a whole?
Yes and no. We are in that cycle, and we are at a point where I think a lot of cards have reached what I would consider, full potential on their prices. But I'm not dipping into fourth and fifth tier. I'm looking for cards that should be in that first and second tier that just have not realized their full potential yet. They're a hidden card. I mean, this is a perfect example, by the way. I mean, Ken Griffey Jr. rookie cards should never be considered fifth or sixth tier. They're not going to be first tier because I'm not talking to you about the upper deck card because that's already ballooned in price significantly. If I were doing this with Jeter, I would not be telling you to buy the SP card, but I'd be telling you to look for his 1993 Upper Deck Gold Hollow Back card or his Stadium Club Murphy Edition card. These are blue chip players, but the cards have not ballooned yet to where that SP did.
I ain't no holla back, girl. This is a good episode. Cage, any final words?
No. Listen to me. That's your final word. Listen to me and you make some money. No. I'll let you have the final word, man. But yeah, I mean, listen, guys, it is somebody yelled at me today on Discord because I listed a Devin Booker moment. And I don't hide. My name is my name, right? So I listed a Devin Booker card for, I think it was like $5 under the floor. And someone out of nowhere is like, "Hey, dude, don't do that. That's how you start runs on things. People are gonna see you selling, then they're gonna undercut you, and that's how you start a run." And I wrote back. I said, "Listen, I can't see your account to see whether you're in this for the long run or whether you've just got in yesterday. But if you're really concerned that me listing my Devin Booker at $5 is going to cause a run on this particular product, you probably shouldn't be in this."
You shouldn't be. This game's not for you.
So, but yeah, I mean, but the point there, the bigger point here is, if you're sitting on a card that you bought last year at X price, and you said to yourself, you know what, this is a good investment. I'm going to hold it until it goes to 2X or 3X. And you're anything like me, and you're sitting there now on those cards at 5 or 10X, nothing wrong with taking some profit on those. Every once in a while, you got to reassess what you're holding in your hand, what you're holding in your collection, and determine whether or not at the price it's currently sitting at, does it make sense? A weird account, Brooklyn Vintage Cards. He posted something yesterday on Instagram about how, He's not going to hold any. He has a huge collection, but he's not going to hold anything more than $20,000 anymore because he just can't justify it. And he'll still buy blue chip cards, he'll still buy vintage cards, but that the pricing has gone up. That he's got to reassess whether or not he's going to hold certain number of his cards. I didn't agree with the $20,000 cap on cards because I think there's still plenty of cards that you can buy in that range or more that are bargains. But it's interesting to see people are out there talking about this and saying, the valuations on things have gotten to a point where you have to reassess and determine whether or not it's time to take some profit. Nothing wrong with that.
I'm talking to all the investors and content creators out there. Something I heard that was really, really cool. It was from this documentary I've been watching called Defiant Ones with Dre and Jimmy Iovine, one of my favorite documentaries ever. And Jimmy Iovine makes this great point. He says, you know why they put blinders on racehorses?
No, tell me.
Because as soon as you look left, as soon as you look right, that's when accidents happen. And boom, there was like a horse. It was when they all started falling. But the point is, why do they put blinders on racehorses? And why do I wish that for you guys out there today? So every week, there's going to be a new flavor of the week. Someone cool trade. Look at this buy. Look at what this guy did with his video. Oh, look at this new content creator out there with a new podcast. There's nothing wrong with being competitive. I think being competitive is good. My question would be, are you competing with others or are you competing with yourself? But more importantly than that, if you're really in this, like Cage said, for the long haul, really consider the blinders. Really consider, what is it that I want out of this? What is my goal? What's my target? And be very cautious looking around because it could become disempowering. And all you need to focus on, in my opinion, is execution. So I'll leave you with that.
All right. I can improve upon it. Listen, we got a lot of great feedback from yesterday's episode. I wasn't thrilled having, Andrew's cousin and uncle and brothers, sisters, roommates, former nephew come on the show.
Do you know I never met that guy in my life? I don't even know who he is.
And it just turns out it's a cousin. I think everybody named Goldberg is cousins, I guess. Is that the deal? So, but here's the fun. That was one of my favorite episodes. I listened to it again last night. It was a fun. If you guys haven't listened to that, please check it out. We have a blockchain specialist, someone in the industry, and I kind of, I still don't really understand what he does, to be honest. If I'm allowed to not lie to you guys, after an hour of asking him questions, I still don't get it. But listen, you have to give me, a pass on it. I could never figure out how to program the clock on my VCR. It just blinked to 12 o'clock all the time, and I never knew how to do it. So I guess maybe it's just me. But there's some fun little nuggets in that episode. The guy pulls out a binder of cards and he's telling us, he's got an Otis Thorpe card. I mean, it's like craziness.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I was kind of nervous about it because it's not like our typical MO, right? It's not cards. It's not even NFTs. But I think it was helpful. I hope people really enjoyed it. I know I did.
I mean, it's an eye-opener towards where the world is heading, if nothing else. And I had a lot of fun with it. So if you haven't listened to that one, take a listen. And this was a fun one today, too. Gotta love it. I can't believe you brought up Pujols, man. That was going to be my play. I went Griffey instead, but because Griffey's easier for people, people to accept. Plus, his cards are just way too cheap right now. It wasn't Chrome yet. You name it. So, take care, Luca Nation.
Bye, guys.